Mad Mechanic David here again. First ever video. We're filming in the aunt's shed. We have a Series 2000 1994 Cub Cadet 2135. Customer says it has a dirty carburetor and needs cleaned. I've already removed the side panels off. Just real few simple screws. Well, nuts to get it off. You gotta untighten this butterfly nut right here. And then you got two spring-loaded tensioners. One up here. Well, one up here. One down here. And let's get into it. The first thing you will need to do is take the carburetor air filter cover off. Go ahead and unscrew that. Might take you a second because sometimes these are stubborn. Take it off. And now usually there will be a air filter here with a butterfly nut and a lid to it. But not today. I want to get into what tools we'll need for this job. The first tool you'll need is patience. That's about it. Vice grips. Any type, any kind of work. They're your best friend. You'll need a 1/4 inch drive ratchet. A 10mm and an 8mm socket, and then you'll need a small extension, 1-inch extension. And then to clean the jets in the carburetor, you're going to need a wire brush, or of course if you have the more fancier option, the actual jet cleaning kit or hydrosonic cleaner, you can use that. But as you can see, I'm just working out of a shed, and I mean, it's not that fancy. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll do my best and we'll go through. Here we go. This is set up on a stand, a phone stand that's on a like some type of holder of some ordeal or something. I don't even know. It's not mine. First, you're going to want to use your... I'm covering the light. Small socket. You're going to use your 10 and your small extension. And then make sure you're turning it the right way, because a lot of my friends don't. Get up in here. Loosen these bolts. Just like that. I'll grab you guys. Come over here. I done loosen these bolts up. Take this off. Actually, we'll leave that on for now, and I want to take the 10 off of the ratchet, or the extension, I shall say. Excuse me. And then come down here to the bottom where your choke cable is. Loosen that up just enough to move your choke cable so you can get this backing plate off to the carburetor. And then my uncle just went and got a 3D printer, and we've been printing a bunch of stuff with it. But go ahead and grab yourself a little magnet stick, because you never know. Take your nuts and butts, your bolts and nuts, not the first thing. But grab it, take it over here, put it on the top of the toolbox so we know where everything's at. And then come back over here and loosen everything up. Now that all that's free, Take this, put it in there so you know where it's at. And then you should, this hasn't ran since 1995, so 31 years. And you should just be able to pull that off real easy. Sometimes they're a little bit stuck on there because sometimes people put glue on them or something to keep it on there. I don't know why, but that was my case with the first one. I'm going to take your part, put it over here on top of that. All your small parts go over here. And all my bigger parts, I'm going to grab this, grab my choke wire. This is not a tutorial, but you may use it however you so please. Grab this. This is your breather. Try to push it out a little bit. And then there's a choke cable back here. That's real weird. If I can get the light on that. There we go. It's a real weird bent cable. Sometimes you have to finesse it to get around it. Take your carburetor plate. You gotta rotate to the left. Same with your bracket it was on. This little bracket right here is also a 7 or 8 millimeter. Take that off. Set it up here on your seat or whatever you may please with it. My door keeps on opening. I don't know why. And then now you got yourself the carburetor. Your next step you're going to want to do is get yourself a stable working spot so you can disassemble the carburetor. Get yourself a good old-fashioned cooler, and you can use that as a seat. Get ready at the table. I'll move that stuff. And get yourself a bucket, nasty bucket, for all your excess fuel that's ever been in the carburetor or what might be in there. The next thing you want to do is come down in here, take this little black tab that's right here under my finger, pry it up and back, and then kind of wiggle it and it'll come right loose. This little piece right here, if you'll focus in on that. There we go. Then you take this, pop that off, both of this off. Now this is the fun part. Take this, put it in your tool area where you keep your stuff. Get your vice grips. Tighten them up just a little bit. You don't need them too tight. Just tight enough. You don't want fuel going anywhere. Obviously. You don't want it leaving like your ex did. Get it in through there. Pull that right off. Pull that carburetor right off there. You might have to wiggle it a little bit. This thing don't look too bad. The gaskets look horrible, but it's not too bad looking. That's what it looks like with it all. Clean up your threads before you put it back on there. Come over here to your table. Sit down on your fancy seat. Hashtag cooler. Then you want to grab your small ratchet and your extension, if you want to. You want to grab that, and then you want to grab, I'm pretty sure it's a 13. I'm not 100% positive. Grab this. Put it up there. Yes, perfect fit. Always, man, always. Never lose. Hopefully I rise to the top like Derek. You know who I'm talking about. If you're watching me, you'd probably know who he is. Woo! There's some nasty carburetor juices right there. Take it. Excuse me, I'm holding the film with my knees. Take it, put it on there, break it loose. Sometimes they may be stuck on there, so sometimes you might have to use a drill or something with, more torque or a bigger ratchet. Look at that nasty O-ring. That thing is nasty. Look at that. That's real nasty. Too. That bolt is. We'll clean all that up. For now, we're going to set this like this. So we know there's not a lot of juice coming out of it onto the table. We're going to put that in our bolt container. Right there. Keep track of it. And then I'm going to have you guys sitting up here so I can monitor myself on the work I'm doing. You guys will be able to see, hopefully. And sit down here. Grab your bucket, put it in between your legs. Grab this, grab your bowl, remove your bowl. That is nasty, some gunky fuel. Tomorrow, it looks like this is kind of beaten up or burnt at one point in time. Hopefully not. But grab this. Let's rotate it out. Grab your gasket, make sure it's all good. I gotta grab that pin from down all the way down in there. Way down yonder, guys. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. No, I'm playing. Don't get copyrighted. But get yourself some compressed air and get your wire brush. Mostly just compressed air on this one because there's my vice grips. I need one of those pliers on that. Oh well, that's fine, we don't need it. You should be able to grab this pin to the float, the pin and float, remove it, and then there's a needle that should stick in the float. After you remove that needle, get your carburetor, and take some time, get your needle noses, and snip you off a wire from your wire brush at the base. Not a lot, just a little bit. I found my needle noses. They aren't the best, but they get it done. And then my drink, Arizona watermelon. Arizona, please sponsor me. Please. I'll do anything. Love your tea. Just walk back over here. Grab everything. Put our tools that we've used into our retaining tray. And then come down here. Look at everything. Make sure it doesn't look like you have a vacuum leak somewhere. Or once upon a time. Check all your gaskets. Make sure everything looks beautiful, most importantly. And then check all your, everything. Make sure nothing is real dirty or has a bunch of gunk in it or something. And that should be about it. I will be back. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back from my air compressor. I have it in a separate location, so I have to go back and, I have to go blow it out and whatnot and all that fancy stuff. Where you want to blow, whenever you have this off, I have tried to get this pin out of the float. I've tried to heat it, and it doesn't want to come out for some odd reason. I even tried to lubricate it. It doesn't want to come out with WD-40 or for y'all. Please sponsor. The needle, after you get the needle out, you take this out, you take the pin, take the float out, take the needle out that's under it, which should come out with your float. If it doesn't, then you may have disassembled it incorrectly, or it might have just been a slight error. And you want to go blow out, this is where your main jet's going to be, that supplies fuel to your intake, the inside of your carburetor. There is a little port where your choke side is, which is right in that little area. I don't know if you can see it or not. And that's about it. Get a rebuild kit for it. After you get a rebuild kit for it, put it back together, regasket, or put gasket maker on it, you know, and make sure it's all neat and all that fancy stuff. Now I'm going to put it back together. Since I blew it out, it should be fine. I'm going to put this back on first. And then I'm going to take my bolt and my little seal thing and put it back together. Reuse all the original equipment, or you can obviously get new. It's whatever you're into. I don't have the funds to get new ones all the time, so, you know. Tighten that with your fingers. You want to switch your directions. Thumb and arrow with your ratchet. You're not going to want to tighten it down real tight, just until it's about hand tight, and you don't want to tighten it anymore. You don't want to strip it. Just tighten it and snug. Snug, that's the word I'm looking for, is snug. And then you're going to want to set your carburetor down. Take this all back off. Put that back in there. And then put your 13 back down. You're going to grab your extension. And then after you grab your extension, put your extension back on here. And then grab your 8mm and put your 8mm back on there. Grab your choke linkage. Put all your hardware from your setting area right here, your caddy. That's what I like to call it, as a caddy. Take it. Put it all up here onto. Oh, you fell. Put it on your stand like this. This little music stand or something like that, so you have it readily available. It's the most important part. Never lose a part, because then you don't have to make another trip, and extra trips suck, especially whenever you're trying to do something in a timely manner. So I'm going to grab my nice and fancy cooler. And then I'm going to go grab the carburetor. Make sure you have it on there the right way. The big thick gasket, this side, you're going to want to mate with the side of the engine block. You can see in there, there's our rods. I believe that's our rods. Yeah, that's the rod. Intake rod. That thing looks horrible, but I'll probably throw a different engine on this Hydromatic one day. Who knows? So your next objective is to get your carburetor on there, and I only have one hand. Get your carburetor on there and get your fuel line back on there. This is brand new fuel line, nice and tight. Made it up against there. fuel line on there all the way. Typically you'll have some clamps here, but this fuel line is so tight I don't need it, and frankly I didn't feel like putting them back on. But that's a safety issue, so you need to put them back on. Grab your throttle leverage. You want to pull it back just a little bit and position your linkage into this little hole right here. This is where that black, really small black piece comes in handy that we have in our tray. This piece right here. And take it. You're going to center it with your fingers like this. You're going to want to kind of get that, get that all in there, and then you're going to want to pull that back just a little bit until you feel it in there. It's going to be snugger, and you're going to want to flip that up. And this takes 2 hands, but I'll get it with one. Boom, I'm the best. You're going to clip that back down on there, and you can play with it or whatever. And our next objective is to get our choke and our choke linkage, our choke wire and linkage hooked back together. This has to be and is the most painful part of the process, I will say. It takes a lot of patience. I mean, a lot. And that's something I'm great with most of the time. I'll set you guys up over here. Put you right there. And then after you grab that, we're going to get this installed back on here. Grab your sorry, I'm a little sick right now. Grab your plate, position it like this. This little bracket right here is going to go like that. I need to tighten this bolt. It's a little loose, but this is going to be the hardest part, like I was saying a minute ago. Take your finger, hold it like that, and you're going to want to run this. It might be hard to believe, but you're going to want to run it, this part right here, down into your carburetor where your choke is, and you're going to hook it like you're hooking a fish, or unhooking a fish, like a J-hook almost. You get it in there. After you get it in there, you're going to want to just let that rest. Make sure you have your one eye. There's 2 eyes on this one. Grab your one eye, and then you're going to want to hook this like this, right like that, like that. Get it in there. Might have to get it in some weird positions, but get it on there. It should look something like this. Take your vice grips off. Set this on your stands. You should feel it. Get on there securely. Shouldn't be anything holding it back. Never anything holding it back. Should just be able to mount it on there flat with the carburetor. Take that, make sure you got it on there right. You got to wiggle it. I'll show you guys what that looks like behind it. Ow, I pinched my finger. Come down in here. You're going to look at that. See, this hook's down in here like a hook. It comes down and around to the left. And then this mounts behind the plate of the choke wire. So it doesn't go in front and go behind, it goes behind to in front. You're going to want to grab your needle nose pliers, which I left over here. These will be in handy anywhere you go. And then you're going to want to try and feed your breather tube, and which goes straight back into your carburetor for better emissions. Lucky them. After you grab that, get that through there a little bit. Grab your needle noses, stick it up right in there. Take your back plate, shove your back plate on there. Should look something like that. Now you're going to want to grab this choke wire, choke cable, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. It does the same function. And then you're going to want to grab your this little bracket piece right here in this. I think it's an 8mm bolt. Yes, it's an 8mm. Take it. There's a little silver section that's not covered with rubber. You're going to want to have that in through there, okay? You want to take that. Sorry, this is a bit difficult. Hold you with my knees. Go in through like this. Drop that bracket. There's a little ledge on the bracket. Put it up here like this. This wire should just sit right here on the edge of this bracket. After you get this undone, of course, then you're going to want to take and hit that in there by hand, if you can, if you're Incredible Hulk. You're going to grab your ratchet, your 1/4 with the 1-inch extension, and then pull that down just a little bit. Oh, it slipped out. Oh no. Give me one moment. Gotta resituate. Pull that back up in there. It'll be tough on these big jobs, trust me. Screw that back in there until you feel that little ledge start to come through this hole right here. Right there. You don't need it real tight. You just need it tight enough to keep that. Take this, manipulate this, fit right there, and that very first hole. Sometimes it's easier to leave this out, and which I did last time, and it's easier to get back in there both ways because you don't have to hold it with two hands. And if you're ever wondering where the governor spring is on these, it's right here. I wouldn't recommend it because it's unsafe, but hey, these things scream whenever they're at high RPMs. Unscrew that. Oh, come on, old Betty. Whoop. Drop the hardware. Put that back up in our thing. Put this backing plate back on here. And then manipulate your wire just like this to go into this first hole right here. Come on, stay silly, Billy. Push that back up in there. Make sure your breather back here is on your case. I don't know what case that is. I'm not an expert, but I'm just a guy who knows a decent amount. Grab your back bracket and your bolt again. Put them back together. You always want to keep them together, like it's a married couple. Always, forever and ever. Amen. And grab that. Grab your bracket back out. Grab your bracket back out. Take this. And slip that back in there. Like that. You can tighten that with your fingers until it clamps down, and then use your ratchet. Make sure you switch your ratchet over. Till it gets tight enough in there. Obviously, you gotta thread it in by hand by rotating it. Like I said before, make sure that bracket's in there and it's not offset by any. And now you got yourself set up again. Here's your choke. After you get all that done, you're going to want to grab your 10 socket, your 10 millimeter. After you grab your 10 millimeter, you're going to grab your 2 bolts that go to the mounting plate, the bracket, this little iron bracket right here, and it might look weird, but this goes on the bottom. You gotta perk it upward like that. Make sure it's on there flat. Grab your 2 bolts. Forgot where I put mine. There we go. I didn't forget where I put them. I forgot what slot in the tray I put them in. Grab your 2 10 millimeter bolts. And then have trouble, you know. No, I'm playing. Get them on there. After they're on there, that should be good. We put a used battery in this, so it may or may not kick over. Hopefully it does. I was right. There we go. Tighten them up. Get real close in there with your fingers. Do not do both sides, well, one side at once. Tighten both sides by hand. Go in there 1 turn, 1 half turn for both, 1 half turn for both until they're tight. Then give them a little snug, and then as tight as they'll ever be. And now you're gonna want to grab your tools. Make sure all your tools are retained. And put back in a place where you can find them all later for another job. We got to replace this tire. It's going flat all the time, so we're putting a new tire on it. We already did the other side. You're going to pull your choke all the way out, push your throttle all the way down to the starting cranking position, push your parking brake in, and then push your parking brake lock down. Let go of your parking brake. Like I said, I don't know if this will crank over. We don't want you to pass out because of emissions, so we're going to open the doors. Open the gates. No, I'm playing. Crank her over. I got that clamp back up. Not all the way up here on the second notch, but it's above the first notch, so it'll do. That's back up there. Whenever you put your blow gun in there, remember, remove your vice grips and blow it. You should hear like a gargling sound whenever you're gargling water. Well, it should sound like. And now you should be good to remove everything from your tractor, all your tools. I had to use a knife, but 2 days after I cleaned the carburetor, it wouldn't start up. It wouldn't fire over, it wouldn't do anything. It wasn't getting fuel. And I diagnosed that by taking the line off the carburetor and cranking it over. So I took this apart, the fuel pump, and rebuilt it. And I'm going to get a new fuel filter this evening. But I got all that fixed up with new fuel line so it can siphon more fuel, because that was the problem. It wasn't siphoning enough fuel to get into the carburetor. So I fixed that up, and after I get this mounted on there, get everything put together how it should be, I'll fire it up, take a video for it. I forgot to post a video earlier on it firing over, so I'll go ahead and fire it up for you guys and let you hear it. Set the parking brake. Pull the choke. There's it idling. That's all the way down. All the way. All the way up. So it's running. After 36 years. 36 years of this mower not running. And it's running. Alright, second, Arizona, 2 days later. I love it. Arizona, please sponsor me.